Hi, so my name is Prem Asim Jain, and in this session, we are going to learn about the actual assignment of books inside the book object, the domain object. So we were able to print the books out properly in this kind of fashion. So first you have to put the category. Based on that you would get the books, and then you are trying to get the ID of the books. Once you get the book ID, you have to retrieve the books. So here you have all the books. You just need to take the input from the user which books he is trying to pick up. So instead, what you are going to do over here is you would request the user to enter the book ID. Then based on the book ID, you are going to retrieve it. And then you have a book ID. We just made it super simple. So now you have got hold of the book. So you take input and retrieve the book. So that's what we did just now over here. Now once you get the book, you need to make sure that it is not assigned. So you can do if book is assigned. So this is called as the invert operator. What it means is if this value is true, this would make it false. So if this book is not assigned, or you could do is make it more user friendly. You can say if book is signed is true, you will say sorry, book is assigned, come back later. Else you would just assign the book. So how to assign the book? It's super simple. You can say book dot is assigned is equal to true. So the book would get assigned. And next time you can check the status over here. Whenever you assign a book, you would see the status over there. Now assign the book and validate. So this is what we just did over here, is we are assigning and validating the status, both things together. And once the book is assigned, you can acknowledge the user. In this case, you will say user as book is assigned. And you can just do book. And this is the beauty of overriding the toString method, because once you were not having that stuff, you were not able to print it properly. So we would just first try to do a simple assignment, then we would add more complexities to track books and do some further steps. So let's do 1, 2, 3. This time we got Mohan, we would get 101. We got the menu, we would say it as I want book number 1. And now it says book has been assigned ID 1, title whatever, to student details whatever. Do you want to rerun the program? I say yes, I want to rerun. Then I would say 1, and then I would say 2, and then again I would say 101. Now you see your book has been already assigned. That is why you see it as assigned true, and rest everything is false. So you can try to assign that book again if you want. So you would write as 1. Sorry, you cannot assign, come back later. So this is how this program would work, wherein you can assign, and that's how. Now you might want another capability to unassign book that would work in a similar way. You can have this validation that student cannot assign more than 1 book or 3 book or 2 book or whatever. So now we will have this validation. User should be allowed to assign 2 books at a time and not more than that. And then we can also add a capability of unassigning a book. So first let's tweak a little bit inside our student domain object. So we would keep track in the student object of whenever a book is getting assigned. So this is the time for the same. We would add a student books object list. I'm sorry, student books list, and we would make it as array list of books. And we know that it could be 2 basically. So here we are presuming everything, and I'm not doing defensive coding. Otherwise we might have to do null pointer check and every check to make it more robust. But since it's a POC and we can afford, to go it faster, we can always reiterate and make it more robust. So whenever a book is getting assigned, we are trying to add the book. So student can have the capability of assign and unassign a book. So there are 2 ways. Either we can do it in the student object itself, or we can do it in the library manager object. Whatever way, it makes sense. So for now, just to keep things simple, I would do it in student object. So we would have public, and we don't want anything, public void assign book, and public void unassign book. Now when we are trying to do assign, we are just trying to add values here. Whatever object you pass and whatever object you remove. Super simple. This is how assignment would work. This is how unassignment would work. So can you assign a book which is already unassigned? Or if you are trying to assign a book, first okay, let's try to go this, then we would put the validation. We'll make this method smart enough to give us the answer if we want to assign or not. So let's try to call this book. So first we would do it from the client itself, then we can always refactor and put it somewhere else. So we have got the book. Whenever we are going to assign it, we have the student object, and we will say assign book, and we will pass the assign. And we can also do this stuff over there, so that we have just one place to change the code if we need any modifications. If we scatter around everywhere, it would be hard to figure out everywhere and make changes. If you have this thing centralized at one place, the one method which has the responsibility of taking care of assignment, unassignment, everything, you just come here, make the change, and everywhere it would be taken care of. So we are doing the assignment. Technically, we can always ask if you want to unassign book. So if it's a menu, you might ask user, do you want to unassign book? Press 1 for yes and 2 for no and blah blah blah. You can go there. But what I'm going to do is, before going to that complexity, we'll just keep it simple. So what we are going to do is we will ask user to unassign it over here. So I would say South, do you have to submit a book? For example, if he says yes or no, press 1 for yes or 0 for accept. And if it is yes, so there are two ways. If he says yes, he might have to print the category and do everything for unassignment, and then he can put the book numbers, and then he would move ahead. So let's try and do this entire stuff again. Which would be redundant though. So we can get it somewhere else once we refactor this. For now, I think he already has the menu item. So what we are going to do is, we would say this stuff from here to here is required to get duplicated. Press 1 for yes and 0 for no. Submit scan dot next int. If submit is equal to 1, okay. So student has pressed the categories. Once he has pressed the categories, he has got the retrieval. Based on that, he has entered the book ID. Now again we have got the book ID. Once we got the book ID, we were able to retrieve the book. Once we were able to retrieve the book, we are able to fetch it, and then we have to do the unassigned activity here. So a book which is already unassigned, book is not on your name. So if you are book is not issued, and assign book, a student dot assign, so we would say unassigned. here we are going to assign book has been unassigned. So for this student, book has been unassigned over here. Here we have assigned it. In this case, we have unassigned it. So this is how it would work. So now we will assign a book, we will unassign a book, and that would finish our project. And we just need to make sure that a student has only 2 books which he can assign. So for example, we would also add this logic over here. As soon as you are trying to do the assignment, we would say if student dot assign. So what I wanted to do is I want to check the list of that. If it has been assigned, we can do true or false basically over here. Let's try and make it here. If books dot size is more than 2, sorry, more than 2 books, more than 2 books cannot be assigned, else we will assign the book. So let's try and do this. So once we are assigning, we would say, we would take this message from here to here. So this would take care of our validation part as well. So we would just try this and then we would finish this video, and that would technically finish our project because we are able to meet all the requirements as per the project synopsis or the plan, whatever plan we have. So we are going to retrieve a user, and user ID is 2, and we have to do the Java book assignment, and then we say I want to assign book with ID 1, and then it is asking if I have to unassign a book. I would say no, I do not want to unassign. Then it say I want to rerun the program. I say yes. Now I have the ID, so I would say yes, 1, and then again 2, and then again 101. So we see that 1 book has been assigned. Now we would try to assign 1 more book to this guy, and then let's try to do 101. Sorry, student cannot be retrieved, it's invalid student ID. Do you want to rerun this program? Yes. Do you have the student ID 1? Yes, 1, and enter the book ID 101, and then enter the book ID. This time I would say 0. Book has been assigned. Do you want to submit a book? I want to submit a book. No, I do not want to submit a book. Do you want to rerun the program? Yes, I want to rerun the program. My student ID, my student ID. So we would print the category. Now in this category, two books are already been assigned, and we are trying to assign one more book and see if it gets assigned. So that would take care of our validation part. So I would say book ID is 2. So book has been assigned title. Do you want to submit a book? Okay, I do not want to. So let us check the logic what has happened over here. So when you are trying to assign the book, sorry, more than two books cannot be assigned. I think this logic when we assign the book more than one book. Let's try to read on it. There was a bug. We will just identify the bug and fix the bug. So first book has been assigned. Now we are trying to enter another book. There you go. So there was it is working as expected. We just haven't restarted our app server. That is why this was a problem. And this everything works cool. Our validation also works as expected. We were awesome and we are able to finish this project. We'll just try the last use case, which is of unassigning or submitting a book. So this time we will submit back a book from Java. So you see two books have been assigned. Let us Java, for the Bible of Java, I would try to submit this, unassign this book. We got the successful message that this has been unassigned. Now we would try to rerun and validate this. So the user has been entered over here and we would see the category and we see that this book has been rolled back, Bible of Java. So this finishes our library management project wherein we were able to assign book, unassign book, associate it with the student. We have a validation that more than two books should not be assigned. We were able to create the user login, which means the student login and everything. So this project gives a fairly very good idea of any application which you need to run and you can attach any layers with this. We tried with in-memory database, we can try it with Mongo drivers or Hibernate. On the UI side, we can put any UI, we can even put Angular, the latest framework. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions related to the project, just shoot me an email or visit my website premasim.com. And since the code is available on GitHub, feel free to fork the code and then you guys can try this project hands-on by running and share your feedback. So you need to go to projects by Prem. I have a couple of more projects in this repo, which is Mongo database converter utilities. But this library management is a project which should be able to give you a fairly nice idea about how library management works over here. Thanks guys, thanks a lot for watching this. I hope you have a nice time.